Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We are two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which I mean can be champagne-y, can be beery, can be winey, can be tequila-y, whiskey-y, but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet and sour-y.
Yay! It's like a sweet and sour Midori.
I know. Yeah, I was like sweet and sour look. I mean, yeah, it was a horrible ending. I could have done so much better.
No.
Why did I do this to myself? I set myself up for failure. But I'm so excited, Wah. Brand new
Oh
show.
my God, we're back. Mama June is gone. You know, that's what happens. That's the reason why we get kicked out of Love After Lockup for so many weeks is because Mama June and like the Brat, like Judy Loves Brat, like those are the shows that are on WeTV. So we get a break because of other, I mean, Mama June is a big that little, girl was a big deal in the early aughts.
I know it. It's like absolutely. When I actually think about it, it's crazy that, like, obviously, there's nothing more trashy. I think there must be the most trashy reality family we've ever had in the history. Except maybe the Duggars too, because at least I don't know. There's both have like nefarious child abuse, sexual abuse situations, but not maybe to the Duggar degree. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that Mama June, honey. She remember at one point the season was called "Too Hot to Handle" or something like that, and I was like, but yeah, this is love during lockup. Now, I'll tell you right now, none of us know how to ever describe what season or episode we're ever in this world. Like, and neither do they. So, versions of this is season 5, episode 1. On my cable, it said episode 42.
Yeah, on my WeTV app, it said episode 51, season 4. So, we are
Uh, uh,
we're all over the place.
Honey, we can't do it. This one was called Jail Talk, which I also feel like maybe is the most basic slash lazy name for an episode of Love During Lockup, right? Jail
Yeah.
Talk?
It's like, yeah, it's I thought it was a play on one of those 90s kid games that we had where it was like,
Girl Talk?
yeah, yeah, that's what I thought.
I love that you were like not gonna say the name as if I wasn't like Girl Talk, Girl Talk, Girl Talk. I
Yeah,
love.
I
Did you
couldn't
play Girl?
remember what it was. I knew you would fill in the blank.
Did you play Girl Talk?
No, it was a little fancy for me. I didn't have any friends who, yeah.
Did you always want to play?
Yes. Yes, I did. I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I did have though was a secret sender. Do you remember those?
No.
It was like a giant BlackBerry slash sidekick, and if you opened it up, like if someone else had it, you could send them the secret, like, oh my god, I don't like her hair, and then you'd send it to your friend in class. It's like before text messaging, but you had to be in the same space as them, but you could send them the message on the secret sender. But the best part of it, because no one else had a secret sender, I fully thought that after Christmas I was going to go into whatever grade I was or get back to school in that January, and I thought tons of girls would have it, and I would be a part of the rich cool group because I got the cool ass like secret sender. And the best part about it though, without having somebody in the room, because nobody ever did have it, was the fact that I could control the TV. All I had to do was change the like system, because it was a Casio, so it was like universal remote. And so all I had to do was change it. Like if the TV was like a JVC or whatever, I would just tell them like, oh, it's a Sony, and I would put it in, change the setting to Sony, just be like boop, and the teacher would be so frustrated. She's like, who has the remote control? And then she would find it in her desk and be so confused as to why people could change the station, and I would just like pass it and let so the cool kids could like be troublemakers. That was a long story, but there it is.
Listen, I love this story. I still never. Okay, it's there was something called My Diary or something that was kind of like whatever, electronic diary for girls, but I think there was
Yes.
some sort of like sending option, but I just remember the word secret sender. And this, I
Okay.
guess also this sounds like it'd be up
Yes,
my
this is
goddamn alley. Like I feel like I would have had it. I feel like
yes,
I would have bullied other friends of mine to get it so that I could
girl.
communicate with them during class,
Yes. I
You
feel
know I
like
would have.
I'm seeing it here and I'm just like, how do I send this to you so you could see what I'm seeing? It's just like
Secret send it to me. Okay. Should we just buy them?
No, we shouldn't buy them. They're so analog. You can't do it. And one of them used to like tell your like fucking look at this Patreon. Look at this for the folks that are on Patreon. You remember this?
Should we play Girl Talk? Do you want me to buy Girl Talk? Do you want to play Girl Talk? Um,
Totally boring. Yeah, like you could send messages to people as well as make your own avatar. Look at this. Look at this amazing avatar. Of course, you know they had like tons of black people, right? So they had like you know they had options for black folks. Anyways, there's that. Jail talk, girl talk, secret sender. Woo! Hello, everybody.
Hi, we're back. This was a very good episode. It was just like good slow exposition on couples while still showcasing potential conflicts, you know, which makes me happy. Let's bring this up. We don't have individual pictures, but we're gonna go down the line. Do you want to start with Jade and Chris?
Yeah, let's start with them.
So Jade and Chris, if you're looking at the Patreon, is the second couple from the right. You know, I will say this: it starts Jade and you know, I will have to get to her name. I think it's
Renika?
No,
Letitia.
Yeah, wait. Did I not write her name? Yeah, Letitia and Jade give me, when their segments made me feel like I was actually watching a Bridezilla episode because they were overly done up in an aesthetic both ways that like was specifically 10 years ago. Like so it was like that was happening, and then both of them were kind of like giving off this. Bradzilla used to always do this where it was like one girl's time to shine and she knew that she was going to be on, so everything had to be like over the top as if she lives this like ridiculous life, you know, like. And both of these girls gave me that, where it was just like a lot of makeup, a lot of hair, a lot of like clothes, or I'm like, you don't look like that every day. But anyway, God bless. Having said that, Jade. So Jade is a brown-haired girl, and she has like two sisters, or all starts with J names. They call themselves like the Jardashians or something, which already in itself is, you know, basic. Okay. But there's one really pretty sister, and the other, all the sisters are pretty, but one is like is really, really gorgeous. So anyway, God bless. But she's 33. She's from Florida. Now, this is the funniest part. Like, for some reason, it's so funny to me, and this is maybe my privilege or whatever. Anytime and people are like, I wasn't really trying to do anything, but I just logged on a pen pal dating website, and it's like, but you for really did that? I mean, you know, you logged on, that means like you had to sign up you logged on to a prison pen pal dating website. You were in the market to fall in love with I mean, this isn't like you stumbled onto like, you know, a stray dog, like, you know, the stray dog, I mean, it's like on the street and was like, oh, I'll take him home. I wasn't expecting this. It was like, you went to a stray dog factory.
Yeah, you in fact went to the pound is actually what you did. You went to the pound, and you're like, you know, you go and cuddle the kitties and the animals so that when those who are in the pound get some love. But you took one of the ones from the pound home, or at least you are allowing their activities prior to the pound. Like maybe, I don't know, there was a show dog or whatever, and this show dog like just makes a lot of money, and then this show dog got put in the pound, and you became the legal guardian. It's like Gunther, you know, you became the legal guardian of the dog in pound, Gunther, if you will. You were making money off of you were getting money off of him. Now let's just jump right into it. You guys have already watched the episode, right?
Yeah.
Chris, do you think that she was wrong for not answering the phone when he called her a million times?
No, but I don't understand why it even got to that point. Like, to me, it's like, hey, Chris, it's my sister's birthday, so I'm not going to be able to answer your phone call. Like, early on in the episode, they were talking, and she's like, I'll be available in an hour. He's like, okay, I'll call you in an hour. And I was like, okay, well, they had set that up. And then what I don't understand is after that phone call, while she wasn't like, okay, well, now it's my sister's birthday party, so I will not pick up the phone because I'm hanging out with my family the entire time. So I will not pick up the phone from that moment. And then that's why I don't understand what happens. But I want to talk about that, but I also want to talk about how hard the sound was when your jaw hit the floor when we learned that Chris is, first of all, Native American after seeing his picture 1 billion times. To the point, and I mean, this is just me projecting what my own prejudice, because I'm saying right now he doesn't look Native American, which is whatever it is, but just bear with me. I'm not, I'm not a saint. A, that he's Native American. B, so much so that he gets $10,000 a month. Wow. So when that was what happened to you, what did you do?
So I was like, this is the dream. Like, good for
Yes!
her.
Yes!
Good for her. Good for him. Good for his tribe. Also, he was also a meth addict. Like, and we keep not talking about the fact that there was meth occurring. And like, when there's ever meth, we all know that it's not good. So he's a meth addict. He didn't need the money. He ended up just breaking in and turning to somebody's house, because he was bored. So that shows just like he has a interesting idea of what is boring and what is not. Also,
he's not even just like, it wasn't like he's been doing this shit. He's been not
sober. He's been 7 to prison 7 times before this stint. The thing is that phenotypically, him not looking Native American, I do understand your shock of that. The only reason that I wasn't shocked is because I have seen either on the YouTubes or when I went to the reservation in Quebec that there are people who are in the reservation who you would never think are Native, but have Native blood because their mothers or whoever had children outside. And so they're still considered Native, though. Like, even if, it was really interesting when I saw that too, is that they're like, nope, you're you're great whatever was Native, and you're around the community and you live in the reservation, but you may not look like it just because of the way phenotypes happen. So yes, I was shocked as hell. Like Trixie is Native. Trixie. Yeah. Yes.
Did she get $10,000 a month?
No, but the reason why that she doesn't really talk about it is because phenotypically you would never know that. So he's always like, he's like, I'm Native. Nobody knows it, but like, it's really interesting.
Like, now I'm like, are male Native Americans and female Native Americans, are they like, there should, I mean, like, why isn't it more a thing to marry Native Americans that get just large sums of money? It's like marrying into like a Walton family, or like, I don't know. I mean, maybe not that much,
Not every
Native American don't get such large sum of money, obviously,
but it depends on their people.
Wow. I mean, like, that part was crazy, but the other part was, so the way that we figure that out, which is my favorite scene, and then I'll let you talk if you want about, but just, this is my favorite part of the thing, is that when her sisters come over, she's living in this house, her mom's there, and she, is like dressed like, kind of like a, like kind of like goth princess, like one of those just like floofy black dresses. And her sister comes in, she's like, did you get a new couch? It looks expensive. The couch is hideous. And the couch is like mint green or sage green leather. It made no sense at all. I was like, oh, that's insane. And she's like, yeah, it's expensive, but, and then that's when she drops the information, right? But the way she drops it is this. Yeah, Chris is, obviously in a Native American tribe that, gives him $10,000 a month, but it goes into a joint checking account that I have access to. So, and then we just get shot of her like pool and everything. And everything is, now I realize, mid-range nice, and then it cuts to her party where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this girl just grew up super poor, but always wanted to, like, everyone does, but like, she has been given access to money in a way that she's never had before, and it's a good amount of money for her and most people. It's not obscene, but she is just getting to like live her Kardashian Instagram life right now.
I mean, that camper is like, unless you were literally going, I don't know.
What?
I feel like a waste of money. It's like her backyard looked nice. Like, I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. And this is like, okay, step up. But then like, there were just some random purchases. And I'm like, why that? Like that shows like the taste level and like what's exciting, for her. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird choice to get a camper that's just gonna sit there for when you go camping. Like, why don't you just wait and buy it until you actually go camping, not just to have it like waiting for you should you have the whim to do so. Her mother even started crying when they talked about their toxic relationship. And that tells you how invested like the friends and family are. Like, they know that she's doing this because he has the money. Her sister even says it, that if he didn't have this money, she would not be there. But the fact that he keeps calling over and over again, even though he knows what she's doing, he says it's because he had a tricked out, mama. Like, the way he was like, my mom was an exotic dancer. And like, I don't have negative like thoughts for strippers, but this is like the second stripper sad story that we've had of sons of strippers.
Love is blind. I know.
Yeah. Who feel something. And so like, it's just, he's like, yeah, I don't trust women. And, because of the things that they do and they're sneaky and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm like, Jade, you need to get out of this, because you were a family with strong women. And you even dubbed yourself the Jardashians, and you're with some guy who can't even let you be with your family for an hour. And here's the truth. He's probably paid for everything in that place. Probably, and he did pay for the house. So I do feel she was rude for not just like, the thing is, what she should have done, and this would have been super petty, is to be like, hey, Chris, like, oh, that's you. It's unfortunate, but like, I can't, I can't keep you like here. So I'm just going to place you here. Like, what she should have done is just like gotten a little stand for her phone and just placed him there as she just moved about and lived her best life.
Like Brandan?
Yeah. Yes. So that
just
he
like you can see everything. Yeah, just like get a bird's eye view. I'm not, literally I'm with my sisters. Yeah, it just is confusing to me. If you know that something's so obviously a miscommunication, why you're not like trying to remedy it by being like, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to answer the phone. It's my sister's birthday and my family will be pissed if I stop conversation to talk to you when I can talk to you later when it's not my sister's birthday party. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, that part just, but I think we're also watching something on TV. Mm-hmm. So, that has to also happen. The mom crying was sad. Also, another way we can tell that maybe her taste level is like, not like up to like the snuff of like, what we would aspire to be, is the butt tattoo.
And she showed it in front of her dad. Yeah. When she did that, I was like, oh yeah, you. Oh. Like, oh, okay, that's where we are in our family. Nothing anyone says from here on out will be taken as serious except for the mother's tears,
Yeah, and definitely not serious are the multiple ring notifications she's getting throughout the scene, which I just know because my dad has a ring alarm, so I now have like that little like bing noise in my head. Okay, want to move on?
Yeah.
Should we think about going to a commercial, Law?
Oh, what a great idea. Yeah, let's go to a commercial. Okay, Jean Marie, if you could just delete everything from now until we say welcome back, that would help. So what did we say? Like 1800?
It was 18. It was 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess 1800 is right.
Alrighty. Patreon. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, sorry. Great. She just was wanting to yell at you, Patreon. She was so excited for you. Oh, Chris left. Okay.
Literally just said, hello, Patreon. So I thought you were going to say something to Patreon. And then I started talking. And then I was like, well, you can say what you want. And so I let you talk. And then you didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say hi to them. That's it.
Great.
All right. Let's come on back then.
Honey. Okay, so going on to the Bridezillas, Letitia was a Bridezilla to me when we saw her too. Letitia rolls up in a Benz. She has 2 daughters. They're beautiful. She's dressed to the nines to drop her kids off. Dressed to the nines. Not but not the 9 o'clocks because she gets there on time. So she's dressed to the 7:57 a.m.
Yes. That was a whole setup scene. They wanted us to know a little bit about her and like I don't know, like the fact that she's a mom, and then we get this scene of her calling Keith. Yeah, Keith, like, I got the kids to school. It's so interesting how like some of these women just share this fantasy with this. That's all it is, like this weird fantasy world that you're sharing with these men. And so for her to pick up the phone and talk to him as though like, he's just at work and she just dropped the kids off and they made it on time, and it's just like, ugh.
Is she doing that for her or for him?
Maybe it's for her. I think it's her feeling fantasy. Yeah, she's got a little fantasy world. Now, here's the craziest thing is that they're in Iowa, which is not far from where I am. Iowa is
Mhm.
like a 2.5 hour drive south. So it's so interesting that this move to the Midwest has made me just so connected to the people, Like I just I'm in these states where things are happening and I've never paid attention to it because I'm from other states. And
You're a coastal elitist?
yeah, I am. And so now that I'm in the middle, with 1,000 lakes, but no running water, or no, not running water. No,
No
like,
running water.
what's that called? When you have like an ocean or whatever, there's something called, anyways, landlocked. Woo, girl, couldn't get it out. But anyways, so he's in jail for drug distribution, in case you wanted to know what that was. Not dealing. He was on a more of a warehouse wholesale level, And he has gold teeth, which Letitia feels is something that will automatically cause, it's a panty dropper.
Yes, I need to talk about this.
Mhm.
Is it okay? So then they showed him, and he had like his whole, and not to use like a probably dated term, his whole grill is gold, as opposed to some gold teeth. So I was wondering, like, is it any gold teeth? Is it that she liked all of them in front? Like, is it that, like, is it a little old school vibe? Is it that, like, what is it about them? Do you know anything about that?
No, I mean, having one gold tooth or a gold tooth, like a tooth surrounded in gold, there's something like Caribbean that I kind of dig about it. But this whole full grill is like that you can't remove, is a Southern thing, I think.
Mhm.
And I think it's gross.
Yeah, it's like when you actually think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, teeth have like the ceramic. When you like get veneers, are ceramic. Gold is gold. Like, I guess they never chip, right? They're hard or whatever. Like, I wonder what it feels like to like mash them. Like, if you have a yeah, it's like, I wonder what it feels like. Is it like slippery, slidey, like metal, or is it textured metal? Is it all like, I don't know. I can't imagine what the texture is like in your mouth if you have gold teeth. Like, if when you floss, is it like really slidey because it's like metal-ish?
I don't know, and I don't know who does this. Like, where do you go to get the gold tooth? You just go to a dentist and you're like, "Hey, how can you wrap this around my tooth?" Like that. And then two, I just can't imagine it being all that clean. I just don't know. I can't in my mind. I'm like, what if somebody just tries to like, what if he's out in the streets and he owes somebody some money and they just like punch him in the mouth in order to get those teeth so that he can pay them back. Like, it's just a lot.
Yeah, I think of them being clean because I feel like it's easy to clean, but I also think of like Les Mis, where like, yeah, or like, your version is like I think you said, I don't know what you said, someone like a street person hitting you. But I think of like a French, sort of like grave robber coming and just like getting what they can from you when you're done.
After you're done. Okay, I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. I'm like, there I see you at the liquor store and you're alive and they punch you in the face.
Letitia, after giving us like her, fantasy, or dropping her. By the way, her daughters are absolutely the cutest, most beautiful things. We get her going into like a warehouse with a big sign, and she is a tax professional whose, and I feel like I've already used this word again, but whatever, aesthetic is this boss bitch from like 2010. So it's like, like boss bitch and like a queen hat, like the actual like logo of her tax office. Now, having said that, I love it. I'm not okay. two things. I love it, and I'll tell you why. A, because she radiates a very feminine energy that I love the fact that there probably are women who are like, yeah, if I'm going to have a tax professional, I want a fun one that's a female. Like, I love that. But there is like a datedness now to it where I'm like, oh, it's so specific, you know?
Yeah, I mean, all of the ladies knew that they were going to be on TV.
Oh, sure.
And they all did their best. And sometimes your best is not good enough. And I was just like, okay, this is an office full of Black working women. And she stomps in there and calls a group meeting in the most unprofessional way. And she tells these ladies that her husband, who is in jail, is now a part owner of the business, and he will be calling shots from. She's Thai to me. She's Thai, right? She's somebody who is like, this is my opportunity. Let me take it. I'm on TV. Let me get everybody around me in it.
Yes.
Like, let me be the say the craziest things to these women who are sitting here. And then we've got her, like, ladies, like, you know, their little asides to the camera. And it's like, I don't think that Tisha's thinking with the right part of her brain right now. It's crazy to let a man come in. Like, it's just like the whole thing. I was just like, this isn't real. This doesn't feel real. It doesn't seem real. And none of you are actors. And she's like, listen, I just dropped a bomb on them. So let me take them to the nearest, I guess, Iowan diner bar collab, and let's have espresso martinis.
And take it up a notch, which they do. They're like, you know, it is perfect writing, because it's like, okay, well, ease the tension, you know. Okay, yeah, that was a weird way to say it, but, you know, he is my husband. You know, I kind of wish that she would, I don't know, she's not saying this, which is, there is a thing where working women want to acquiesce a certain amount of their dominant role to their man in a like sacrificial way to submit to them in certain very traditional you know, cisgender heterosexual relationships, which almost feels like a little bit of what she's doing, but she's not saying that, which I think would be really interesting. But she does make it more interesting because, yes, these women are now surrounding her, and one goes, by the way, you know, that one over there, honey, you know, she dated him, right? And for some reason, no, she didn't know that.
What do you mean? Date. What do you mean? You fucking my man?
Just cut. Yeah. And then we're like, ah! And we're like, please. Yeah. And also, like, which is interesting because, you know, I guess like, it's always interesting to find out like how people meet, right? Because obviously there are a lot of the prison pen pal dating websites, but this one wasn't. He was friends with her cousin, you know, his bro. I'm sorry. I think he said something like his brother was locked up with him, and the brother had a girlfriend that was friends with Letitia or whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well then how? Yeah, I wonder how he also got to Letitia's what looks like her CFO. But you know, I don't know. It feels like that woman. I can't tell what any of these women's positions are in the boss bitch tax office or whatever, but it does feel like she is an important one. And I also like absolutely could have used a lot more footage of like the day-to-day. I would like to like I don't know anyone's name yet, but the girl who was sitting next to her that was like that one, I want to hear her pick up the phone and be like, boss bitch tax, you know, like I want to see it all. Like what is
the one with the black and then blonde?
Yeah.
Her name was like Tajay or something. She had an apostrophe in her name.
I loved it. I also loved Letitia's eyebrows. What great eyebrows. You see, it was like her beauty game is on check.
Mm-hmm. You don't think her eyelashes are a little too long?
I'm grading on the curve that is the show.
Okay, yes. Speaking of eyelashes.
I know. I'm like, even though Renika doesn't really actually wear them for the first part of it. Okay, so Renika and Asanta. So if we're going to put up this dumb thing, and we didn't even do it for the other people. So Letitia, who we just talked about, is on the other side of Jade, which is the third from the right.
The green, wait, is Letitia the one with the green?
No, no. Letitia is the boss bitch, and yes, Renika is next green. To her is green. So we just talked about the first three were from the, you know, Jade. We're all the middle people we've talked about.
We've talked from green to black. hair. Green to black hair.
That's not from green hair to red lipstick is what we've done.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Good. That's
All
a good
right.
idea.
Okay.
If you're on Patreon and you're watching this. So, we have Reneka, who is a mother of two beautiful girls as well. And she has something that's really interesting as a job. She is she has an eyelash vending machine,
I
which is
love it.
really, really cool.
Loved it.
Like the fact that she has them all over the place, and she says that she makes like 2,000 a month per vending machine, and it looks like she has like five, and it allows her to have a good life. I'm really happy for her. So she goes into one of her spots where she has the vending machine in the black hair salon, which makes sense.
Smart. So smart.
Yes. And she is talking to her client and telling her client 1 week before she's leaving that she's leaving. So it's like, who's going to manage these vending machines? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I was like, in this one that's almost out. I mean, there were like the Spiley Rileys that, obviously have the chips in there or whatever. Usually, like I mean, she was refilling stock and she needed to refill them.
Yeah. And I'm like, that sounds like a great business. Good idea.
Wow, I was so happy for her. And I was just like, this is so smart. And yeah, like, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's just, it was really, really good. And then she's talking about how she's moving, and the hairdresser's like, you don't know anything about this person, and why would you move over there? And that's crazy. And then we go to the person, and his name is Lysidris Ashante. And they keep spelling his name Asanta, and I'm like, what? They're saying Ashante, which I'm like, so it's very weird. And then
yes,
he's gay. He's gay.
Okay.
He's on the down low, and he's scamming her.
Yep, I know it. Okay. It's hard because in this day and age, like, listen, I don't want to. I hope this, listen, every sexuality is a spectrum, okay? And we don't know exactly what's happening, but I will say that I did feel a little bit like just
because he's like, I fell in love, so yeah, that's my girl. And when he said that's my girl, I was like, oh, that's your girl. That's your Judy. Because no man, black man who's gone to prison is like, yeah, I fell in love. That's my girl. The way he said it was that. He didn't say our. I don't know. It was giving vibes. And then we get like a foreshadowing of her picking up the phone, and it's some man's voice that's like, that's my man. And she gets upset.
I actually didn't see that. Oh, this makes me so sad. Let me say this. Reneka is gorgeous. I would love, and she didn't ask me, but I would love to see what it would be looking like if we could just like see some different sides of her. Just because the hair was intense, like it's not just like there, like she has sideburn baby hairs that were just so thick, and like there was so much happening, which I know that I just would also love to see what it'd be like to have like a little bit more of a natural look for her.
Well, she did in her confessionals. All she had was brows and like face stuff. She didn't have on any lashes, no eyeshadow. So I liked her. I wish that she had done her hair for the confessionals, but I think overall the choice to be bare was cute.
See, the thing is, I agree with you, but I would love to see the hair that we had in the confessionals with a little lash.
Okay.
With a little like, she's so beautiful. Like she's like, I'm like, and her daughters are, her daughters are super cute too. And so, yeah, I just like it really made me sad because what we're seeing is someone who was like, oh my God, like I love that you built this life for yourself. Like this is a so smart idea with this like vending machine. Like you could easily grow this, and like, I'm like, don't give it up and give money and give us away to like some dumb dude, who like has been, I'm sure, whose little bum is raw, honey. His bum is raw, like he's been in prison, babe, like like, and God bless him, I want him to be happy too, but like, I just don't know if he's being really honest with you in a Colton Underwood type of way. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. 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 He said, "That's my girl. I fell in love. So yeah, that's my girl." Okay. Uh he has robbery and grand theft. So that's his resume.
oh. Mhm.
Do you do you want to move on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just feel like, girl, I want you to, forget about him and let's get those lashes in the airports, because in the airports now you can have like stupid Kylie Jenner has her dumb lip kits in like LAX. And I'm like, who the hell? I honestly, what a weird thing to me, because I'm like, LA is huge. I can't imagine we're in a world in 2023 where so many women are like, before I get on this JetBlue, let me make sure I get my Kylie lip kit. No one cares about Kylie Jenner's lip kits. It's not, I mean, whatever. So anyway, having said that, let's get some fresh vending machines. Okay, Andy and Brittany, which are next to Renika. We're just going the line. It's the guy who is a popo and Brittany who is an addict,
Oh, he's
honey.
the only guy. He's the only guy in
Yeah,
the
you're
season.
absolutely right.
Yeah. Nice.
So pretty much we have two scenes with him, and sorry, and both scenes are him with another gentleman, one being his former friend slash his friend slash former worker employee. I can't talk, like someone that he works with, and his son, both at restaurants talking about Brittany. So Andy, as we said, is a former police worker. It looks like he did it in his 20s. It looks, I'm gonna say this.
A police worker.
You know why I say that, Wa? Because I don't think that he was like on the beat. He can't be on the beat. He was never physically fit enough to be on the beat. So when I say that, I'm like, what was he was he, wow, am I being mean?
No.
Don't they, I thought if you could be a full police officer, like to be like in the streets, don't you have to like get past certain running shit and stuff?
I think you do, but then after a while you don't. I think you only do in the academy, and then after that you don't. I've seen in places where they don't have to run, or they most likely won't have to run. Cops are a little bit more of the donut eating types, I think, and he is definitely a donut eating individual.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you said a police worker, I never thought he wasn't a full blown cop. But maybe you're right, because he's like, I was for about I don't know, 13 years. I'm like, how you were in a field for so long, and how do you not know exactly how many years you were in that field? So you might be right. I just didn't pick it up from the onset.
I also don't know, like he has a story, which is that his like ex-wife slash baby mama got a divorce and it was really shitty. And he actually got primary custody of all the kids. And so he couldn't be, he says, a police officer anymore because he had to get a job that was more in tune to like raising kids, which is not working nights. I don't know about being a police. To me, it's like if you're a police officer and you're not, and you don't, and as long as you're not like disowned from the police academy, don't they like take care of their own in the sense like, wouldn't he just get like transferred to a daytime thing? And wouldn't you want to still be a police officer if you are, because of the 401k and pension shit? But listen, obviously, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. He must, I don't know. Are you okay, Wa? Looks like
Yeah.
someone's like talking to you. Okay.
No.
Looks like someone who came up and was like, you're like, Anyway, so Patreon knows I'm doing, and everyone else is like, what? But his friend, who's obviously still in the force, and this person's in the streets because he's wearing a full uniform. I mean, he's wearing a bulletproof vest. I mean, I don't know where he thinks what's going to happen in this donut shop, but
yes, yes, yes. I'm going to tell you right now that this gentleman is unwatchable for me.
Oh,
yeah. I skipped through his. Like I saw this couple of scenes. I saw him talk about being I don't know, almost 30. When he said that, I was like, oh, this is weird. I don't know what I'm watching. I don't know. I don't like him. How do you like him?
I like the idea that he's getting absolutely finessed. So, it is okay. So they're setting up the fact that how could you be so dumb? You've been a cop. You know how this shit is. Like, that like convicts or whatever, addicts or whatever are like manipulative. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I think it's different because Brittany is much younger than him, much younger. At one point, she's wearing braces, and in one of the pictures, I'm not saying she's that young, but like she's much younger than this person. I mean, he definitely has kids that are like whatever her age, and she definitely is an addict. Like she's like, I'm an addict now. She is. When she says it, she does say it in a way that makes me feel like she's at least acknowledge it. She acknowledged it in a way that makes me feel like maybe she's serious about recovery.
In recovery.
Like, because sometimes there's a lot of ways to say things that are like, yeah, I gotten in some trouble, like, like I messed around a little bit, or like I hung out with the wrong people, I got messed up in the wrong stuff, which still feels so like, like that your responsibility is outside of you, and then you go back in and then suddenly that could happen again because you never know when you can, anyway. But just to actually have someone say I'm an addict while they're in prison made me admire her for being like in a truthful, honest moment. But anyway, to his friend and asks him if he's ever given her money, and he says yes, $5,000 to $6,000, and I think it's only been like 7 months. It has not been that long. Also, again, he met her through a pen pal dating website for prisoners, which also is so like, yeah, you wanted this again, like, yeah, so you found what you wanted, and now 7 months later, it's been 6,000. That's like, like you've been paying like almost $1,000 a month. That's great. What is she using it for? And then a smaller scene is the same kind of thing where then it's like a weird scene we have with his son. That's a micro scene where he has no problem telling his son a bunch of adult details, and his son's like, ha ha ha, you're gonna ruin your life with an addict. Enjoy this pizza or whatever. Like,
yeah, it's really some kind of weird fetish thing. It feels like that this was all set up. Like, this is a guy who was a cop, and then like, no, he wants like some kind of ownership, or like, oh, I used to be a police officer, now I'm dating a convict type nonsense. And then he went and applied for this show. That's why I just feel like we are not watching like a regular degular. We are watching somebody who knows and who's doing this and who's so lonely. I mean, there's something about being so lonely that the person that you go after is somebody who has not been a part of society in the way that you have. And that you're like, yes, I'm going to reform this person, or this person is going to change with me. It's just like weird.
So what do you find unwatchable about him? It sounds like you're saying that you find it so depressing that he's lonely enough to do this, but I don't know if it's that.
Yeah, no, it's more so. It's not that. It's that I don't have any sympathy for him. Whereas like you have some kind of sympathy for the other characters, because you're just like, oh, especially the ones who were like, I was lonely, and I thought maybe I'd just go on a pen pal website and like, be friends with somebody, which is crazy to do because there's a lot of emotional stuff attached with it, and this show has been out for at least 6 years now, so you should know how to behave. But people don't, and so they're I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to watch this man who can't even remember how long he used to be a police officer. I don't know. I don't
know. Yeah, it's like so funny because maybe he feels something by saving her, which is, I think, the male equivalent of that, of like he feeling like he can save her. Remember when Jade told her sisters that she can change Chris?
And she laughed at the same time, like she knew that was stupid.
Because it's like, up is down.
Yeah.
You're just like, so it must be like, I don't know, like, anyway, she's just like, I can change him because I want that money, like, wow, like, I don't want to go back to Jade, but what would you do truly? If you had access to, if it's like, it's not just $10,000 a month, because I'm not gonna be like, you wouldn't sell your life for $10,000 a month, but shut up. But it's the fact that he's
yes, I would.
Listen, but he's also in prison. So what you're actually doing is you get 10,000 and you don't even have to deal with him on a visceral level, but you do have to deal with him. So like, what would you like? How would you do it? Well,
I mean, I think I could, and I think I would. Like, I think that if some guy were to be like, let me tell you the part that really gives me pause. honestly, if he had gone to jail for like robbery or tax fraud or something that was non-violent, yeah, and non-drug, I would do it. The part that makes me nervous is the fact that he used to be a meth head. And like that is the thing that makes me go, oh, I know I couldn't. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to have to deal with anybody in my family who just like becomes is an addict. Like I just don't, I don't know, I don't want to have to like manage that. I mean, I've managed to not be a drug addict, so I don't want to manage it for other people. And I do apologize for you, those of you who are out there who, you know, have an angel in your life who have helped you through hard times. I just don't think I could be that person.
She's not an angel.
It's a lot to do. It's a lot. So
I get it. I get it. We have one more Coops Badoops loops.
Who?
Brittany and Karak. Here, we'll show you them.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah. I actually like this. This is a new angle for us. Too. Yeah, this is something that's like, and we see her doing good. It's like, how can she can come out of prison and like go into a some kind of hairdressing school or whatever. Hairdressing, gosh, can go to that school or whatever, and so many people can't. So it's going to be inspiring, and I hope that they work it out. I hope that it works out. So we've got our girl who was in prison for 3 years, Brittany, I believe her name is. No, maybe it's not. And then we've got Karak. Oh yeah, it is Brittany. We have a lot of Britneys.
Yeah, we have 2 Britneys here. Let me get this thing on there. So just so we know, and really we don't need to know this, but for your own benefit, this Brittany is spelled Britney Spears way. Britney, an obvious fan. Now, the Popo, Andy, his girl is named Brittany, and that person is spelled the French way. Brittany. So I know you need to know that. Now, I feel like I wrote this down, and I want you to know, first of all, in this big picture, she's the one that's totally on the right. When we first see her, she's giving like culturally appropriate, original clean girl aesthetic.
Yes, she is. Her baby hairs are not like offensive. You know, they are her actual baby hairs. I don't believe that she like just cut them to make them happen. And you know, she is obviously from like, I feel like most of the like the hood girl aesthetic is not always a lot of makeup. That's like kind of that's not always the thing, right? Especially for Black girls. Now, I don't know if she's like Latina or like where she's from or whatever, but like for the most part, Black girls just make sure that their hair is done and that their eyelashes are done, like, and maybe a brown liner and a lip. Like there's never any emphasis on like super crazy facial makeup or whatever. And I think she's got the same kind of like Puerto Rican around the way girl or like Latina around the way girl aesthetic, where she's going to have her gold hoop. She's going to have baby hair. She's for sure going to have lip gloss of some kind. But she may not have on the full face. She's going to have on like eyelashes if necessary. But if, you know, you can't wear it to your little class where you learn how to do hair, then you don't wear it. And that's what she was giving.
Yep. We see her again. Yeah, she's in a beauty shop because she is working on her, you know, her beauty career. She has great eyebrows as well. And she tells a story of meeting Karak. And I mean, I didn't understand. At first I was like, oh, what if it, okay. So sorry, let me go back. So she is talking to one of her like beauty mentor ladies. It feels like, you know, like telling her what's up, like maybe the owner of the salon. Like I couldn't quite like, or she's like an apprenticeship. Like obviously the lady that she's talking to was like doing hair, and she's kind of like, you know, telling her life story. And she mentions that she was in maximum security prison, you know, and the lady's like, you're so pretty. She's like, yeah. So her whole thing, by the way, is that when she was really young, she was like dating some stupid dude who wanted to make like money, and she also wanted to make, she said, paper. And so she helped set up a robbery or whatever. So who knows if that was like one of those things where she, like they use her as a bait for like Hinge or like or Craigslist or whatever, or like Grindr or like Tinder, and like be like, yeah, you know, like I don't know. So she then tells the story of meeting Karak, which is that she is going to the hospital, the infirmary, I guess, in prison, and she walks by Karak, and Karak's like, you're like beautiful or whatever. And she's like, thanks or whatever. And they start talking and, or whatever. And so anyway, this whole time I'm like, how the fuck are they talking? I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what
Oh.
kind of maximum security prison is this? I'm like, are there guards around? Are the guards stopping you from, how the fuck is like some male and you just like, so anyway, I'm like really, really leaning into it. It does not even occur to me until like, she's like, yeah, he's trans. And I was like, oh, that's how.
Yeah.
Okay, Guac. How did you, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's when she was saying that this person said you're the most beautiful person, I was like, oh, this is like a butch lesbian situation. And then like that, yeah, that's exactly what I was like, yeah, butch lesbian. And then when we see Karak, I'm like, oh, really butch. And then when they start talking about like the hormones, testosterone, I was like, okay, that's what's going on too.
Yeah.
But
that person is passing.
yes,
That's a pass.
but
That's passing.
I think that I honestly feel that trans men can, I've never seen a trans man that is presenting male that I haven't not known. Like I don't like, oh, you know. What are you saying?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I have that trans men, for me, I have never met a trans man who was presenting male that I was able to clock, that I didn't think was male.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you said you always know. I'm like, I never know.
Oh, no, I never know. So if I meant to say that, no, that's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is that I'm never able to clock them. Just the men that I've met, not to say those who are presenting male.
Yeah.
I say that.
Yes. Yes.
So it's really interesting that's this dynamic, but I like it and I want to see where it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so but because there's even cherries on top. So like the cherries on top for me are, she then shows off, sorry, I have a hiccup. She shows off the fact that she's gotten a diamond ring and it's a real diamond. And the reason why he has money is because he's hot as fuck. Okay. He's hot. Okay. So, again, oops, I fucked up. But, he's the bottom part on the right. Look at that. Okay. He's hot. And so he has sugar mamas while in prison. And these sugar mamas are giving him money that he then is just giving Brittany.
Yeah.
Just like, so I just like, that's a great thing. And so anyway, so the mentor lady is like, oh, but like, aren't you afraid that he's going to like, fall in love with one of the sugar mamas? She's like, absolutely not. And he's like, well, then aren't you also afraid that like everything that, he's saying is jail talk? She's like, no, bitch, because I met him in prison. Yes. I meet him on a pen pal dating website. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the one just being like, who's he? Hot, hottie McHot-Hots. Here's some thousands. What I'm saying, bitch, is that for months, we would put a scrunchie on the door. And that would mean that we were banging in our prison cell. And people knew it. So no, I don't feel that.
Yes. I think Brittany has the most confidence walking into this situation because she exactly knows what her boo is up to, how often they do it, and where they're going. Like, and she's creating a space on the outside for the boo to come into that is probably lovely. So because she's hot. And so, she's solid in her, like, I don't care. He could take that money. I already gotten taste, so I love it. Yeah, you're right. Those are the absolute cherries on top of the situation for them. And that's, again, why I guess I hope that they work out. I always hope that certain people work out. And I'm voting for them. I'm not voting for Chris and Jade, but really, you're right. They do infuse a bit of reality TV and not so terrible. Like sometimes the seasons with this, everyone's down on their luck and everyone was a drug addict and everybody is like, doing something. But this one has a lot of like non-deadbeat prison people, if I can say that. And I don't know. It was a good intro episode. You're right.
There was a lot of flair, like 3 women are giving us a lot of flair. I mean, putting on shows. Yeah, I agree. Now, the only thing I will say about Brittany is I kind of want her to be like, okay, You went to prison because you wanted an easy way to make paper, which was to set up someone and then just like someone down on their luck and or whatever, and just like promise whatever you did and then just steal from them. You went to prison for that. I love that you're like trying to your beauty shit, but like, why don't you think about not being so happy to take other dumb people's money? You know what I'm saying? Like the sugar mamas. She's so proud of the fact that she's like, oh, I don't care, it's my money. And it's like, you know, I get it. There's a privilege of like having something to get at, but at the same time, I guess just like, all right, but did he just already fucking try? I mean, I don't know. There's like there's a little bit of a pattern there that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. There is a little bit of
Okay.
a pattern there. The thing is, though, I don't know what it's like to actively think about stepping on others to get to where I'm going, but that's because I haven't had to. And I think that there is a certain desperation with folks who don't have and has never had and have no path to having, that causes that kind of mentality to come up. Because I'll be around folks that I'm just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, that person is dumb. They deserve to get their thing stolen. And I'm like, and that's different for me, right? Because I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm not waiting for somebody to like fuck up so that I can get to the next level, right? And so, but there are people who are, and I am just very lucky that I have never had to be one of those people who think that way, you know. And it is a pattern, but there's obviously some shenanigans happening in her past that would allow that thought pattern to be okay. And then the other side of me is also like, well, if they want to give that money away. So like I have a duality about it. Like there's one thing to you know, catch someone slipping and rob them, but there's another thing: if fools and their money soon shall part, and if I am the recipient of said fool's money,
but honey, we have a whole season ahead of us, and so that was exciting.
Yes,
we have one more couple again that we have not met, you know, which is the couple that's on the far left, which, wow, I mean, it's like some red-haired, strawberry-haired lady and what looks like a 2-year-old person. I mean, I'm not quite sure what gender, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Chris.
Here's a ding.
Yeah.
I love you.
Okay. Challenge. I already found out some tea about them. Yeah. So
when my girl comes through, wait, what was the quote? Like, that's my girl. I love her.
No.
What did he say about you? Or like, that's what I would say about you.
Oh, he's like, you know, I fell in love with her and that's my girl.
That's how I feel about you in this moment for the tea.
So the tea is that strawberry blonde girl has already done like a podcast talking about dating an inmate, and like has gone on other people's podcast talking about it. So this is just somebody who has been desperate out in the streets to get folks to, and I'll send it to you once I find it, but folks to, you know, pay attention to her and her gel talk.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it TikTok? Gel talk, girl talk, TikTok, Secret Center 6,000. It's the Secret Center 6,000.
I wonder how many where are all the other prototypes. And I wish that it still had gone on. We were like at Secret Center, like 1 billion now, you know? Yeah, so that's happening for us. We also have, you know, the 90-day world we're following our love. So be there for 90 Day Fiance Toe. And I wish I could tell you right now when that retreat's happening. Couples retreat or whatever it's called.
August. Last resort. The last
resort. Yeah. I mean, how can you keep all these afloat? I'm not
quite sure. I mean, come on. They haven't, I think Molly and Kelly's in it. And
Angela. They dropped Angela.
And Mackle, which did you see the thing? I'm like, I don't understand. Why haven't producers gotten Michael here? Or at least wherever they are on the resort? Like, why couldn't somebody get him a visa? He deserves to be on that island or at that resort after all these years.
Is he not? It's crazy that he's not there. It's crazy that they couldn't just find a locale for him to. I mean, I don't know how international law is or visas, but why is it so hard for him there's not a beautiful place somewhere that you could take that you could just, yeah, I don't know, my loves. Like, I don't know. But okay. So yeah, lots on the docket, and we have some collabs coming up too. And we're so excited to just, really lean into this summer content for you all. If you haven't, are you laughing at me, Wa?
Yeah, leaning into the summer content for you. I was like, that's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, great. She's so happy today. Look at her. I fell in love with her. That's why she's my girl. Anyway, so you can follow us on our social medias. We are at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, and at DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. And also, can you give us 5 stars and give us a review? Also, if you want to see us, we've been putting up the same picture over and over again, but also our faces. How?
You could do so on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. Thank you so much for joining us to support your gals. Helps us to get this work here done. And, we love to see you there. Patreon.com/DocuSweeties. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.